Hey guys, welcome you all to a new video. This is CA Ganesh Bharadwaj. So, yesterday I had put up a post on my social media handles stating that an exciting announcement is coming soon. And many of you guys were sending me your guesses, and quite a few of you guys also got it right. So, yes, this announcement is about the official launch of our CA Final AFM regular lectures, right? So, that is this announcement about. So in this video, I will be giving you guys an overview about the batch details that I've planned for and what you can expect from our AFM lectures and an overview of AFM syllabus and the question paper pattern and also AFM subjects link with your paper 6 IBS, your integrated business solution. So paper AFM advanced financial management is basically your second paper, which is there in your group 1, and in your group 2 you have a last paper, integrated business solutions, that is a mix of the previous 5 papers. So the AFM's link in that last paper is also something that I want to tell you guys. So this is going to be the agenda of this particular video. But before we get started, for those who are getting to know about me for the first time, I would just like to give you guys a brief introduction about myself. So my name is CA Ganesh Bharadwaj and I am a practicing chartered accountant, and I handle the subjects costing and FM at the CA intermediate level, and currently I've been teaching about 3,000 students annually. And right now I'm officially launching the CA final AFM regular batch, right? So in this regular batch, it is going to be online fully. And by the way guys, I am a faculty who teaches fully in English, right, for the benefit of all the students across India. So this, as usual, the final lectures will also be in 100% English. And I've closely worked with some of the top stockbroking firms. So we actually know how the practicalities of stock market actually functions. So that is something that I will be walking you through during the course of our lectures, because this is very important. In CA final, unlike your intermediate, the approach itself should be completely different, because significant portion of your syllabus is slightly tilted towards the stock markets. Because at the intermediate level, what you would have seen is some basics of financial management, but at the final level, some major chapters are tilted towards the practical functionalities of your stock market. So that approach is also very much required at the final level. Clear with this? And of course, especially to the ones who are getting to know about me for the first time, I strongly believe in conceptual learning. There's no point in mugging up. So where there's a formula, I'll give you guys a background as to why this formula has come, so that you need not take the pain in actually remembering so many formulas by simply mugging it up. Every single thing is going to be logical. And the most important part of AFM is that you might not have a practical experience in the finance area during your tenure of articleship, because in your articleship mostly you'll be seeing aspects of audits, right, your financial reporting, drawing up the financials, taxation, and if you are a person who is getting some more experience in specialized fields like maybe transfer pricing and etc. But very rarely I come across students who get exposure in stock markets or in the core of finance like investment banking lines during their articleship tenure. So this makes this particular AFM subject all more interesting, for a simple reason that you might not have seen certain practicalities during your articleship, right? So that is something that makes this subject even more interesting, and that is also one of the most important reasons why you should be very serious when it comes to this particular paper. And the best part of AFM is that it is not very voluminous. So if you look at paper like financial reporting, your first paper, right, financial reporting is very voluminous in terms of number of chapters itself. There's so many chapters and it's very voluminous, whereas that is not the case with AFM. You only have 15 chapters, out of which 11 chapters are numerical driven and 4 chapters are theory. But then what makes AFM interesting is all these chapters are, so these are the chapters that are slightly technical, so that it might be complicated initially when you approach it. So we will have to break down every single chapter into multiple concepts and we'll have to learn it. So that is the challenge in AFM. So in AFM, the challenge is not about the volume. The challenge is about the technicalities. And if you understand every single thing conceptually, this exam is going to be a cakewalk. That is the beauty of AFM. I hope I've just given you a brief introduction about myself and a very brief overview about our AFM batch as well. So now, first of all, I want to get into the technicalities of our batch details. So this, so if you are a student who is going to appear for your CA finals from May 2025 onwards, so be it May 25 or November 25 or even May 26 or November 26 or onwards, right? So you can definitely watch the lectures that we are going to come up with very shortly. So this is the attempt that we are targeting, May 2025 and onwards. It is going to be fully on a recorded mode, right? So we tried, coming up with an online live option as well. But there's one issue about online live. The thing is, there has to be a continuous, seamless internet connectivity, both from my side as well as from your side. And if there is, there is some issue in either of the sides, then the recording quality will be affected. So that is the main reason why we decided let it be fully on a recorded mode, and this is going to be recorded in our studio, and it's going to be with full HD quality with all the proper audio system as well as with a very good quality of videos. So I can vouch you for the quality for sure. That's the main reason why we are sticking to the recorded mode. And the device that we are going to provide for is both. You can access the lectures both on mobile as well as on the laptop mode. And of course, for Apple users, even macOS and iOS is also something that you can get your access on. And the number of views is going to be 1.8. For those who, again, are new to this, what do you mean by 1.8 views? For example, let us say one video is for 100 minutes, right? So now if I'm telling you that I'm giving you 1.8 views, it means that this 100-minute video, you can watch it fully once. Now, suppose you have doubt or if you want to refer back, once again, you can watch any 80 minutes of this 100-minute video, right? Or in other words, if I'm telling 1.8 views, so the entire batch, you can watch it fully once plus 80% of any of the recordings. Inside every recording, any 80% of that particular video, you can watch it once again, absolutely. So why we have done this is because if we just give you one view, and if you watch it once and suppose you want to come back and refer to some doubt, then the access will be expired and you may not be able to do that. So for that purpose, what we have done is we are giving 1.8 views so that you can watch it once fully, plus once again, any 80% of every single video you can watch, right? There is no restriction on the number of clicks and all that. So this is what is meant by 1.8 views. And regarding the validity starts from 6 months. So we are planning to come up with 6 months, 12 months and options, 6 months and 12 months option, and even beyond that if possible. We are still working on it, and all these minute details of validity and the pricings, it will be announced in maybe a couple of weeks from now. So we are again getting some feedback from the students as well, and we are also planning it in such a way that it will be helpful for the students. So the validity will be 6 months and onwards. The multiple options, once we officially launch it on our website, you guys will be able to access that also. Now the duration that I have planned for is going to be 200 hours approximately. Now it can be a plus or minus 10%, so maybe 200 to 220 hours. This is what we have roughly planned for. And the recordings will begin from the first week of November and will go on till Jan. So November, December, Jan, 3 months is what I've planned for the recordings. So then, sir, after Jan only we will be able to buy the lectures? No, not like that. So in the second half of November itself, you can buy the lectures. We will be floating it officially on our website, costfin.in. Right, so our website links and all is there in the description right now. But for finals, this particular regular batch, we'll be floating it on our website in the second half of November, because in the first half of November, this November 24 attempt will get over. In the second half of November, we'll be floating this particular CA final AFM batch. Now, what happens is, so from the first week of November, I'll be starting the recording. Every day, some 3 to 4 hours is what I've planned for. I will be recording and I will be uploading it. Right, so by the mid of November, when we are officially launching it and when you guys are buying it, at least 20 to 30 hours of content will be there, so that the moment you buy, you can start watching it. And simultaneously, every day I will be uploading some 3 to 4 hours of videos. I've planned for at least 6 days a week. so that seamlessly by the time you watch these lectures, one more lecture will come in every day. Are you clear with this? So some about 3 to 4 hours of lecture will be coming every day. So as and when I finish, maybe if I finish my recording by end of Jan, maybe by mid of Feb itself, you can also parallelly finish watching the entire AFM, right? And of course, this is not the only subject you are going to prepare. You can also be preparing the other papers as well. So parallelly, you can cover a significant portion of your syllabus well ahead of your exam. So this is the reason why I have timed it like this. And every day we are going to, almost every day, 6 days a week is what I planned for right now. So we will be uploading some 3 to 4 hours of content. So there will not be you will not be having to wait till the time I cover the entire syllabus. So that's how it has been planned for. So these are certain things that I want to share with you. And of course, the lectures are going to be fully in 100% English only, right? And right now the material work is also going on. The books, the material, the study material that I'm going to provide you along with the course. So that is also getting ready. Of course, we are going to cover all the concepts, numerical problems, MCQs, theory, every single thing will be covered. The entire study material will be covered. So I'm just going to talk about all those aspects as well, right? And the details regarding whether the books will be available along with the lectures and all these things, we will be announcing about the pricing details little shortly, maybe in about a couple of weeks from now. We will be finalizing on all those things and we can come up with the exact details about the books and the courses and of course the pricing as well. So, but on an overview, this is what I felt that needs to be communicated to you guys so that you can also plan your studies well in advance, right? Now, going on to the second aspect, what can you expect out of our CA Final AFM lectures? The first and foremost thing, entire ICAI study material will be fully covered, right? And when I say full coverage, I'm talking about concepts, numerical problems, theory and MCQ. Every single thing will be covered, right? Beyond this, there will not be any requirement for you to refer any other material, right? You can open the study material and also see. By then, if you have finished our lectures and if you open the study material, the entire study material would have been covered, because every single question on the study material, I want to make it very clear that it should be there in our classroom discussion. This is what I generally follow the intermediate level as well as I follow it in the final. I'm going to follow it in the final also, for a simple reason that when an examiner is, when the paper setter is setting the paper, he will be given the institute study material. That is going to be the base for him to actually set the paper. Of course, here and there they can actually tweak the questions a little bit, but the base is going to be from the institute study material. And apart from that, wherever possible, we will also be covering the past exams and RTPs in the classrooms itself, right? So of course, if there is a sum that is already covered in the study material, then once again, there's no point in doing it. So we will avoid the repetitions, and wherever possible, the maximum extent, we will be discussing the past exams and RTP discussions in the classroom discussion itself, in our lectures itself. And as I told you, I strongly believe in conceptual learning. So the formula construction and why we are learning whatever we are learning, the whys of everything will be covered during our lectures, and there is no mugging up whatsoever. Now, if you look at AFM, as the name of the subject itself is Advanced Financial Management, right? So in your intermediate, you have your paper 6A, which is your financial management, right? So in the final level, it's an advanced version of your intermediate. So there are a few portions of your CA Inter that also comes in your CA final. Now, I will also be giving you guys a background of the CA Inter portions that are there in your CA final, right? Now, you need not have to worry, sir, only if I have attended your CA Inter FM lectures, only then will I be able to follow your CA Final AFM lectures. Absolutely not, right? So that's why I've mentioned new students are definitely welcome. Now, whatever is the CA Inter portion that is linked with your CA Final AFM, I will be giving you guys a proper background about that, and only then we will be getting into the final portions, right? Why? For that matter, the first chapter that will be starting in AFM, Final AFM, is going to be time value of money, right? The same time value of money, which if you have attended my CA Inter, I would have covered this time value of money. Time value of money, guys, is not a CA Inter portion. It is a CA foundation portion. It is not even, you can't even find time value of money in your CA intermediate books, right? It is a CA foundation level, which once again I will be starting as a launching pad before we start the final level AFM, right? So I will be starting AFM with an assumption that you are learning finance itself for the first time, right? That is the assumption with which I'm going to start, so that we can set the base even for everyone, so that everyone can learn from the scratch and they can master it completely, so that they can perform it properly well in the exam. That is going to be the overall objective right from the first lecture till the end. This is the assumption with which I am going to handle this batch. I hope I have clarified these important points. If you have certain other doubts as well with respect to this expectations, you can definitely put it on the comment section below and I will just answer you guys. I will answer to all your queries, right? So that's about this particular aspect. Now moving on to the syllabus of CA Final AFM. So this is where things get little interesting. So in your CA Final AFM, you have 15 chapters as a whole, right? These are the chapters, and the chapters that I have marked in red, the chapters that I've marked in red are all theory chapters. The chapters that I've marked in red are theory chapters. So here you have a total of 15 chapters. Out of this, 11 chapters are numerical, fully numerical driven, and of course in this numerical driven chapters also some theoretical portions are there. And in 4 chapters, these are hardcore full theory areas, right? So this is how your entire AFM syllabus has been defined. Now if you look at this, you have a chapter called as advanced capital budgeting. In your intermediate, you had a chapter called as investment decisions, which is basically your basics of capital budgeting. What do you mean by NPV, IRR, profitability index and all that. Here we'll be seeing some advanced level areas like sensitivity analysis and so on, right? Now for you to get into the advanced capital budgeting, first you need to know the basics of capital budgeting. Once again, the background will be given. The basics of capital budgeting is ideally an inter portion. Still, I will be giving you guys a background about all this basics of capital budgeting before entering into this particular chapter. So basically, I just gave you an example of advanced capital budgeting for a simple reason that I wanted you guys to know how this is going to work, right? Now, there are some chapters like securities valuation, your portfolio management, your derivatives, mutual funds, etc. These chapters are core of your stock markets. So these chapters require a practical stock market knowledge. Only then you can even attempt these particular chapters. So I'm just trying to give you guys a background, because wherever possible, we will be interlinking with the practicalities. For example, you might have heard a lot about mutual funds, like a very famous ad with Dhoni or celebrities like MS Dhoni or Sachin Tendulkar, mutual funds, IA and all those things. But how does a mutual fund actually work? Right? What do you mean by units in a mutual fund? And how do you arrive at something called as net asset value? What do you mean by an entry load, an exit load? What do you mean by an annual expense ratio? So there are so many technicalities of it. From the scratch, we will start and we will be building on these areas. Like you might have heard a lot about F&O trading, futures and options. That clearly comes under this particular chapter called as derivatives, right? You have Forex, exposure and risk management. So there are many chapters, mergers and acquisitions, right? Now, in your financial reporting, you will be seeing the amalgamation and the corporate restructuring, the accounting element and the financial reporting element of the same chapter. You'll be seeing it there. But how do you arrive at the purchase consideration, right? So what do you mean by a share exchange ratio? How do you arrive at these things? This is what we are going to see in our financial management. So the finance element of it is going to be seen here, and having framed all the decisions, when the transaction is being executed, you will be seeing how to account for this and report it in your financials, in your financial reporting. And all the linkage between these different subjects is what gets tested in your paper 6 integrated business solution. I hope you are getting the link here. So these subjects are, cannot be seen standalone. Right? So look at the beauty at which Institute has now coined, and they are interlinking all these particular subjects, and look at the way in which it is being tested right now. Now, there are two ways of looking at this. Sir, it's complicated now. No, it's more interesting. And all you need to do is just spend some time with the subjects and break it down into easily understandable concepts. And now if you just, read it that way, or if you look at it that way, Now it's going to be something that's beautiful and you can easily perform well in your exam. As simple as that, right? So basically these are the 15 chapters. 11 are going to be numerical driven, 4 are going to be theory chapters. And the most important part about your AFM is that you can't ignore the theory portions. You can't ignore the theory portion, because in every question, in the descriptive component, every question, one theory question will generally be there. Under every question, one sub question will be theory component. Unlike your intermediate, where the last question in the descriptive portion will be fully theory and students generally ignore and go. No, theory cannot be ignored. Theory in your AFM paper generally gets tested for 15 to 20 marks, and it cannot be ignored because it is spread across almost all the questions, right? So this is how they have coined it. And theory, you need not mug it up once again. You can just learn it conceptually, and even those 3 theory chapters, the 4 theory chapters that we've got, if you understand the spirit behind whatever has been given in the study material, obviously you'll be able to crack these particular areas as well without mugging up, which again will be comprehensively covered during our regular lectures, right? So that's about the AFM syllabus. I'm not reading it one by one, because anyways, as we move into the lectures, we will be seeing it in depth. And of course, the first 1 or 2 videos will be giving it as a free demo lectures, which everyone can actually see. And if you find this particular style to be useful for you, maybe then you can definitely go ahead and buy our lectures, right? So that's about the syllabus part of it. Then the question paper pattern. Now Institute has made it mandatory for all the papers that 30 marks are going to come from your MCQ component, and 70 marks is going to come from your descriptive component, right? So in descriptive component, what they have is they have 14 mark questions. Every question carries 14 marks, right? Like that, there are 6 questions. There are 6 questions. Out of the 6 questions, you need to attempt only 5 questions, right? So question number 1 is mandatory, and out of the remaining 5 questions, you need to attempt any 4. And in every single subsection, this 14 mark, generally the breakup is going to be 1 6-mark question plus 1 4-mark question plus 1 4-mark question, and 6 plus 4 plus 4. Generally, this last 4-mark question is generally kept as a theory component in every single question. That's why I said you cannot, you cannot just ignore the theory component and go to the exam. It's about tested for about 15 to 20 marks even in the descriptive component itself. Are you clear with this? So this is how they are testing AFM paper right now. And of course, it's all practical driven, and the main spirit or the main reason behind learning things conceptually is that even suppose in an exam hall, if you find a question that is not there in the study material, I mean, the question as such is not there in the study material, but they have framed the question by themselves. With conceptual knowledge, you will be able to handle and you will be able to get full marks out of this. That is the power of conceptual learning, because conceptual learning is actually a very smart way to crack exams. And that is in fact the only way to crack exams, professional courses like CA, that too at the final level, right? So this is something that I generally hammer on during our, at the intermediate level also, more so at the final level. That's the only way forward. And finally, AFM's link in your IBS, the Integrated Business Solutions, the last paper of your, CA final. So around 20 marks of the last paper is tested from AFM. Why AFM? In fact, from every single paper, around 20 marks comes and lands in your last paper. So you have 5 papers, right? Overall, you have 6 papers. The 6th paper is Integrated Business Solution. And from each of the previous 5 papers, roughly about 20 marks comes and it gets tested here in the IBS, Integrated Business Solutions. And just to give you guys an idea, a very, very simple idea about, how this Integrated Business Solution paper comes in. Let's say they give you a case study, right? And this particular case study, let's say it's about dividend. One component of it is about dividend. I'm just giving you a rough idea, right? Now, what they will do is they will try to test it from the perspective of financial reporting, right? Then they will try to test it from the perspective of your advanced financial management. Maybe, so I'm just giving you an example. Maybe dividend or this particular example might not be applicable to the final level, but I'm just giving you guys an idea. Maybe if dividend comes in, so how do you account for it in your books, right? And how do you present it in your financial? Now, how do you arrive at the dividend, right? Maybe using your Walters model or maybe using your Godel's model. That's seen under AFM. right? And of course, in the audit side, what are the things that you need to test when it comes to dividend, right? And of course, the income tax aspect of dividend, maybe your taxation of dividend, maybe the dividend distribution tax, which ideally got abolished in the hands of the company, or it gets taxed in the hands of the investor. I'm just giving you a very, very basic and a simple example. It might not be as straightforward as this, but they might be building a huge case study, and out of that, all the subjects will be tested. This is how your integrated business solutions will look like, right? And of course, in that, I'm telling you, overall, the AFM's component in your last paper will be somewhere around 20 marks, which you can easily score with the knowledge that you get from this paper 2 AFM regular lectures itself. This is what I wanted to tell you, right? So I hope I have touched upon all the important aspects of the upcoming batch. If you still have any doubts regarding anything at all, maybe you can just put it down on the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to address this particular your doubts as well. I'll be very happy to address your doubts, right? And of course, the doubt clarification will be done on Telegram during the course. I'm saying, if you bought the regular lectures, so the doubt clarification will be done on Telegram and WhatsApp. That goes without saying, right? And you can maybe send your send a message, or you can maybe send a voice note, and I'll be replying it to you over WhatsApp or Telegram, as the case may be, to solve all your doubts if you purchase our regular lectures. So that's about all the technicalities of this AFM regular batch, right? And of course, if you have any other concerns, if you have any other doubts, you can just put it down in the comment section, and I'll reply to all your queries. And guys, as I told you, it's going to be fully in English, and this is basically for the benefit of all the students across India. Now, before I conclude this video, I would just like to share with you something that I strongly believe in. Now, there's a beautiful saying by Abraham Lincoln. He says, "If you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I will spend the first 4 hours sharpening the axe," right? So here, basically, what this particular proverb means is, if you give me 6 hours to complete the task, the predominant time will not be in the execution, the predominant time will be in the preparation aspect of it, right? And if you are conceptually strong, if you are investing a lot of time in learning things conceptually, and if you are able to, master the subject, the actual execution is just, an inch away. That's about it. It can happen automatically by itself. So the significant portion of your time should go into the the preparation aspect. If the preparation is very strong, and if it is conceptual, any paper in your CA exams can be cracked with ease. And of course, when I say preparation, it talks about your conceptual learning and of course your practice. Practice is something that you need to do definitely from your side. And of course, guys, there might also be a doubt again from for some students. Sir, only if I watch lectures will I be able to crack this particular AFM paper? Absolutely not, because in my opinion, CA exam is a self-study course. CA is a self-study course. So if you feel that you can figure out things by yourself, and just by going through every single page of the study material, you will be able to crack it, absolutely fine, you will be able to do it. The only thing, then why do we have a regular batch, sir? 2 reasons. Number 1, if you do it by yourself, which is 100% a possibility, as compared to that, if you watch a lecture, you can finish the entire syllabus slightly quickly, right? Because the time is of essence. You can finish it before, and you will have more time for practice and revision. That is number 1. And number 2, when a faculty is explaining the subject, so the faculty will also bring in their experience, and they will also give you the multiple dimensions that is required into the subject, which you otherwise might not have at the moment. Maybe in future, once you get into your employment or into your practice, or as the case may be, you will get all this experience. But at the moment, you might not be able to have that, which a faculty can bring in. These 2 are the advantages of attending any lectures for that matter. But for that, it is nothing like only if I attend a lecture, I'll be able to crack the exams. Nothing of that sort. If you feel that you can do a self-study and crack, that is also 100% possibility, right? So I hope I have clarified and I have explained all the major aspects involved in our AFM regular batch. And the recordings, as I told you, will be starting in the first week of November, and I'm planning to complete it max by Jan end. And it will be available for purchase on our website in the second half of November. That is after your November 2024 attempt gets over immediately. Around in the third week is what I have planned for, and it will be available for purchasing on our website costfin.in. So the website details and all is there in the description. But right now, don't go and see there, because this final AFM batch will not be, it's not at live there, right? So only the second half of November it will be there. And yes, so these are the things that I wanted to share with you guys. And trust me guys, I'm equally excited as many of you are, and I will definitely make sure that this is going to be one of the best learning experience for you all. So that commitment definitely I can give you. So on that note, I am signing off in this video. I will see you all in the next one. Thank you all so much. Bye bye.